What's up, YouTube? Andy from the Sports Card Flip Game here with the latest on how to get you plugged into all things sports cards. In today's video, we are going to be talking about which sports you want to look to invest your money into. And not only that, which specific types of cards within those sports will bring you kind of the preferred return on investment to help maximize your dollar for that investment that you're making. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. We are going to be breaking down 3 specific types of cards that you want to look for within each of the 3 major sports. Of course, we're talking about football, basketball, and baseball. Now, I have a few hockey cards, I have a few golf cards, but we're not going to be featuring those because honestly, I don't think I could actually make a video about it. But within each of the 3 major sports, we're going to be talking about 3 specific attributes that you want to pay attention to in looking at which types of cards to invest in. The first is specific types of players. We're going to break down which players you want to look to in each of the sports and which ones you want to avoid. Second, we're going to look at the actual individual card types, and in specific, we are going to define what's called an RPA, or a rookie patch autograph. That's really the gold standard. That's the highest level of each one of the cards in the 3 major sports. We're going to tell you which sport I think has the highest trajectory in that RPA category, the ones that you really want to target. And then finally, each one of the 3 major sports has what are called variants or parallels, and those a lot of times are commonly known as color. When you're looking for color when ripping packs or in a break, typically you're talking about the variants, the variations of each of the cards, and in specific those parallels that a lot of times are numbered. So they provide that built-in scarcity, and of those key rookies in each one of the sports, that's really where those dollars become astronomically high. So first, let's talk football. Again, we're talking player, card type, and color. So players, I really think you want to invest in quarterbacks, right? It may be running backs depending on the specific player, but guys like Tom Brady, you can't go wrong with, right? He's an all-time legend, and love him or hate him, he's going to be a much safer investment for your dollar than another guy who's certainly well-loved like JJ Watt. So here's a JJ Watt rookie card. This is a Tom Brady, who knows what year. This has more value than this, despite this being a rookie card. So something you want to pay attention to is that those defensive players, your offensive linemen, a lot of times even your lower end wide receivers, your running backs, your tight ends, unfortunately they just don't hold as much value as your quarterbacks, as your true skill guys, the guys that command the offense. So sometimes those key running backs in a class, like Saquon Barkley or Josh Jacobs from the last 2 draft classes, those guys have value. But a lot of times they kind of fall off the wayside. So Derrick Henry is one of the top rushers in the league, but unfortunately he doesn't get a lot of hobby love because of the fact that he's kind of toiled in mediocrity and he isn't necessarily the key guy from a hobby perspective at least, on his own team. So next up, I think we want to talk a lot about RPAs. And in football, this is really a lot of fun because you get a guy like my guy, Dak Prescott here. Now, this is hardly an RPA. This little smudge of blue is actually the patch, but this is a rookie. And so you can see up top here that it's got his rookie card designation and it's got his autograph. This is actually an on-card autograph, and it's got a little bit of a patch, even though that's mostly jersey. So this technically categorizes as an RPA, rookie patch auto. Now there are jersey autos, there are ball autos, there are all kinds of different things that you're going to look for, but really some of these are the highest kind of value cards, and this is by far the low end of that. There are Dak Prescott RPAs that go for thousands of dollars. that are really sought after. This one is numbered to 299. So it is a numbered card, which always brings a little bit more value. So that's what we're looking for in the RPA. And unfortunately, I don't have a lot of color options or variations or parallels. This is a Dak Prescott rookie card. This is actually a die cut, but you can see again, the color that comes along with it is sort of that refractor version. Again, this one is numbered. It's numbered to 75, and we're going to show you some more options in terms of the parallels here in just a second. So in my mind, when it comes to football, I really think RPAs are where it's at. I think this provides the most bang for the buck. If you think about guys like Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, those RPAs from the last couple years have astronomically gone up in value. And if you were able to get one of those, even from a mid-end or a lower-end set, it's going to provide a tremendous investment for you. So that kind of breaks down football. Next, let's talk about basketball. As you guys know, if you've been following my channel, that's where a lot of my love lies. So we're going to talk through, again, those same kind of descriptors or attributes for each one of the basketball cards. Now, in basketball, when you're talking about players, we want to either think shooters or scorers or big men, right? Rebounders, things like that. So here's two jersey cards from last year's rookie class. This is Kevin Huerter from the Hawks. This is Mo Bamba from the Magic. This is actually, Mo was the 5th pick. He's a much higher pick, but I would certainly say Kevin Huerter's cards demand more value right now. And certainly, right, this is where I would put my money to be able to go invest in. So looking at those guys that actually have the ball in their hands, that score a lot of points, that get their name in the paper or digitally. I guess the paper doesn't really exist too much anymore. You get the idea, right? Those scorers really are making it happen and command the most from a sports card perspective. Now, when we're talking about RPAs, this is a great example. This is a Jalen Brunson from the Dallas Mavericks card. This is out of last year's Spectra. You can actually see, again, when we're talking about jersey up here and then patch, this is actually could be the U in Brunson, something like that. You can see that it's actually a 3-color patch. That really commands more dollar from a perspective of collecting, and it's also an on-card auto. So again, this is a rookie card. This is numbered to 25, so commands a good amount of value there. Unfortunately, Jalen's not a high-end rookie card from last year's draft class. If this were a Luka Doncic RPA, it'd be worth tens of thousands. But you get the idea that those RPAs are really significant in basketball. But where I think really the money is to be made is around your color variants or parallels. And so this is a Luka Doncic rookie card. This is from last year's Optic. This is the Shock version. This is a PSA 9. Really beautiful card. Gotta love the photo variation or the color there. Just to be able to see that in the light really commands a great dollar, but is also just really cool from a hobby perspective. I really think that this, if I'm just summing it up, this is where the money is to be made. This is where the best is investment-wise, and this is the best bang for your buck, is looking at those color variations. If you look at Zion cards or Jaw cards this year, really, again, those color variations from Prism or Optic are super hot right now, and that's where you want to look.
I am the smartest man alive!
So then finally in baseball, again, I think it's either a matter of looking to hitters or pitchers. So guys like Anthony Rizzo, this is actually an acetate card. You can kind of see my hand going through the back there. This is a clear card from Strata from a couple years ago. As it matches up to Clayton Kershaw, this is an autograph card from Topps Tribute from a couple years ago. Both are very similar cards, right? I would certainly put the, give the check to Anthony Rizzo in the fact that hitters hit home runs, right? Like they're more well-known in the marketplace, in the media, things like that. Both are great cards, certainly big investments either way, but a lot of times hitters are where you want to put your money. Now in baseball, they've got kind of a third alternative, and it's with Hall of Fame players. So here's a Duke Snider autograph card. This has actually got a bat relic. This is from Topps Tribute. So super cool, awesome cards that Topps produces in some of their high-end sets to be able to see different relics and autographs from some of the Hall of Fame guys. They actually can pull from some of the National Treasures and Flawless cards. Babe Ruth, cut autographs and things like that. So baseball really has, right, like a tradition and a pastime to be able to pull on some of those Hall of Fame and key guys, whereas some of the other sports don't necessarily have quite that tradition. And kind of along with that, we've got RPAs. This is not really a true rookie patch auto. This is a jersey auto of Elvis Andrus. This is from Bowman from a couple years ago, but this is Elvis not in a Texas Rangers uniform. This is actually from the Futures game. And so, right, like this is actually a minor league card from Bowman Sterling. Not really something that Topps focuses on quite as heavily when it comes to RPAs comparatively to Panini. So you kind of see that they're not quite as hyped up in the market. And where, Topps and Bowman really kind of put a lot of focus is around the prospect cards. So when you're thinking about those color variations or parallels, really look to prospect cards. So these are Bowman's best from a couple years ago. This is Adbert, I always say that wrong, Alzolay. This is a blue variation autograph, and this is his base autograph. So, right, super high-end cards, got that acetate and clear feel to them. This one is actually numbered, and so this is a cool option. This is where they're putting a lot of their technology and stock into. But for my money, it's not the RPAs, it's actually looking at player specific. Baseball really has a great heritage and pastime for you to be able to go back and find players from the past, find players to today. Whether they are pitchers or hitters, you can really key in on a lot of guys and collect them over the years, whether they've changed teams, whether they've gone and collected their prospect cards, their minor league cards, their big league rookie cards, their bigger autos and things that are in the high-end sets. It really provides that bigger scope for you. So again, to kind of sum up, in football, look to the RPA. In basketball, look to the color variations or parallels to really maximize your dollar. And in baseball, look to the players and collect individual players and find a lot of fun and investment and growth there for you in growing your collection. So that's going to do it for today's video. If you did like the content, go ahead and leave me a like. That really does help the channel grow. And if you've not yet subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Would really love to get you clued into what's going on with the content. So turn on notification bells. Do that as well so you can be notified when I'm going live next. And leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you agree or disagree with my take on which sports you want to invest in and which kind of cards you want to invest in within each of those sports. So until next time, keep your flip game strong.